Hello YouTube, so today we're going to try to classify W engines, which are the weapons in Zenless Zone 0. We'll try doing that very fast, using a tier list to see which are the strongest and which are the bad ones, and using Pride as a source of information because it's the best we have. So let's start with Deep Sea Visitor, which is a limited weapon for Ellen. It increases ice damage by 25%, and upon hitting an enemy with a basic attack, the equipper's crit rate goes up 10% for each second. When dealing ice damage with a dash attack, the equipper's crit rate goes up of an additional 10% for 15 seconds, so you have 20% crit rate increase, plus ice damage increase by 25%, and a stat of crit rate on the weapon. This weapon is incredible, it's S tier, and it's very costly, for sure. But yeah, if you want a perfect Ellen, this weapon makes her very, very strong. Let's go ahead. You have Fusion Compiler. These are the S-rank weapons you can also get from the shop. It increases attack by 12% when using a special attack or EX special attack. The equipper's anomaly proficiency is increased by 25% for 8 seconds, sucking up to 3 times, so you can go 25, 25, 25 if the EX special attack is fast. The duration of each stack is calculated separately, and the substat is pen ratio. It's a very good weapon, especially for characters that can deal special attack or X special attack fast, but it's not hard to deal special attack because you don't need the energy. So this is pretty good weapon for anomaly. Let's go ahead. We have this ball here, which is Hellfire Gears. When off field, the equipper's energy regen increased by 0.6 per second. When using an EX special attack, the equipper's impact is increased by 10 for 10 seconds, stacking up to 2 times, so up to 20% impact. The duration of each stack is calculated separately. So this one is good for Coletta. Of course, it's the signature weapon of Coletta. You have energy regen, good impact, and the substat is impact as well. So it's for days. It's good. I think it's low tier A, low A tier, like at the lower end of the A tier, but still good. Now we have Riot Suppressor Mark 6, increase ether damage of 25%, launching an EX special attack, grants the equipper 8 charge stack up to 8 times, so it fulls whenever the equipper basic attack or dash attack deals add ether damage, so you need to be ether, consume a stack, and increase skill damage of 45%. 45%. It's pretty big, right? So yeah, this is an incredible weapon. Crit damage, substat 48%. This is an incredible weapon for either character. We don't have many. At the moment, we only have Nicole and the upcoming Zhu Yuan, but it's a very strong weapon. I think it's like a high A tier weapon. It could even be S, but we can't test it very well, so for now, it's there. Now we have Steel Cushion. This is the Nekomata signature. It increases physical damage by 20%, the equipper's damage is increased by 25% when attacking the enemy from behind. So it has a condition, it has crit rate as a substat, so it's very strong. I think even if you have the condition of moving behind the target, 25% damage is very good on top of 20% physical damage. So it's probably high A tier as well. Those two are a little bit better than those two from my point of view for pure damage. Let's go ahead. All those weapons are good. The Brimstone. Upon hitting an enemy with basic attack, dash attack, or dodge counter, the equipper's attack increases by 3.5 for 8 seconds, stacking up to 8 times. So you have to do 3.5 multiplied by 8. This effect triggers once every 0.5 seconds, so you're fine with basic attacks most of the times. The duration of each stack is calculated separately. It is extremely good for just stacking attack on a character. It's the soldier signature weapon and has attack as a substat, which is not the best, but it's still good. I think it's low A tier. I will be creating another, so this goes here, and those are here. Let's go ahead. The Restrained. This is the Lycaon signature weapon. When an attack hits an enemy, damage on days for basic attack increased by 6 for 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. This effect can trigger once during each skill. The duration of each stack is calculated separately. It is good for days. It has impact as a substat. I don't think it's broken, but I think it's strong, so it goes here with the others. There we go. Now, let's go ahead. Weeping Cradle. While field energy regen increased by 0.6% per second, Attacks from the equipper enhance squad damage against a struck target by 10% for 3 seconds. During this period, this effect is further increased by 1.7% every 0.5 seconds, up to a max. So basically you only have 3 seconds, but it increases up to the cap of 10.2%. Repeat triggers on refresh its duration without refreshing the damage increase effect. Passives on the same name that does not stack. Penetration ratio is not great from my point of view, so it's probably low A tier. I think it's B tier. Yeah, let's place it in B tier. It's not my favorite 5-star. But the passive energy regeneration can be good, so it's either low A tier or high B tier. Let's go ahead. Bashful Demon increases ice damages, the Soukaku signature. Because, yeah, we have 4-star Aspire 4 characters. Increase ice damage by 15%, or actually we can say 24, considering we will find the refinements at some point. I will use still 15 though. So increase ice damage by 15% when launching an EX special attack. All squad members attack increased by 2% for 12 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. And keep in mind that Soukaku can hit multiple times, retriggering the freshest duration. Passive effect on the same name does not stack, and the substat is attack. The substat is not great, but considering it's a 4-star, I think it's a B tier, that's for sure. It's not a bad thing, plus you can use this to increase all squad members' attacks, so it's also a very good support weapon. Well, we can say it's like high B. I think it's strong. For being a 4-star, you can refine to use Genshin terms. It's an A rank you can have multiple copies of. So let's go ahead. Big Cylinder reduces damage taken by 7.5% after being attacked. The next attack to hit an enemy will trigger a critical hit and deal 600 damage % of the equiper's defense as additional damage. This effect can be triggered once every 7.5 seconds. This is a defense weapon. The damage reaction is not that important. The defense % can be used as attack for some characters, so this counts as attack. After being attacked, so you have retaliation damage. I don't know, it's fine, but it's not great. I think it's one of the few options for defense-based characters, so it will go in the low B tier. Let's go ahead. We have the Bunny Band. Increase max HP by 8%, increase the equiper attack by 10% when they are shielded. And it gives defense. So these another defense options, gives attack and max HP instead of the retaliation damage. That's probably basically the same as Cylinder. It depends from your perspective. Okay, let's go ahead. Cannon Rotor increases attack by 7.5%. Attacks that land a crit on an enemy will inflict an additional 200% of attack as damage. This effect can only be triggered once every 8 seconds, and the substat is crit rate. So the substat is very good, crit rate is very important, 20% is incredibly useful. The attack increase is for free, so of course you want that. Attacks that land a crit on an enemy will inflict an additional 200% of attack as damage is very good. Honestly, it has a cooldown of 8 seconds though, but increases damage. I think this, considering that it's providing crit rate, is probably a very, very high B tier option. Let's go ahead. Demara Battery Mara 2 increases electric damage by 15% when the equiper hits an enemy with the dodge counter assist attack. The range duration rate increased by 18% for 8 seconds. The substat is Impact. It's a little bit weird. It's probably useful for Ambi because it's the Ambi thing, but it's a little bit undecided as a weapon, so I think it's not brilliant, and it goes into the C tier. Now, Drill Rig Red Axis. When launching an EX special attack or chain attack, electric damage from basic attacks and dash attacks go up by 50% for 10 seconds, but only from basic and dash attacks, keep in mind. This effect can trigger once every 15 seconds. This is the Anton signature weapon because he can deal electric damage from basic attacks. 50% increase up to 80% for 10 seconds if you launch the EX special attack that you need to deal damage with the basics. This weapon and has energy regen as a substat. This weapon is awesome. This weapon is very, 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 very good. Actually, no, we are not going to place it here, but I want to place it. I want to place it in A+ even. 80% damage increase is broken and you can have multiple copies. It lasts for 10 seconds and retriggers after 5 seconds. It's incredible. I think it's very strong. Energy regen is not useless because you need it to apply to activate your skill. So in a way, it comes in handy. A crit rate would have been better, of course, but we are talking about 80% damage increase already after this skill. I think this is very good, very solid. Let's go ahead. Electro-Lip Gloss. When there are enemies inflicted with attribute anomaly on the field, the equiper's attack, so you need to apply the anomaly first. The equiper's attack increases by 10% and they deal additional 15% more damage to the target. The substat is anomaly proficiency. This is not bad, but it's not great. I think it's good. A B tier good. Let's go ahead. Housekeeper. Well, while off-field, energy regen increased by 0.445. When an EX special attack hits an enemy, the equiper's physical damage increases by 3%, stacking up to 15 times and lasting 1 second. The trigger and refresh duration is for characters that can deal a lot of times, a lot of instances of damage with the same EX skill. So basically Corin. For Corin is good, I mean it's best in slot. So it goes into the B tier because it's strong, but it's very contextual to the character that does this. For instance, you can use it on Anton too, but the problem is that it's physical damage, so it would be useless because the character must be physical and the skill must have the pattern of the Corin skill, which applies a lot of instances of damage. So low B tier it is very specific. Let's go ahead. Kaboom the Cannon. When any friendly unit in the squad attacks and hits an enemy, all squad members' attack increases by 2.5 for 8 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. So it's basically from allied attacks. It's weird, so it's a support weapon. The duration of each stack is calculated separately and each friendly unit can provide 1 stack, so you need to use all the teams. Passive effects of the same name do not stack. Energy regen %. It's interesting on only support characters don't want to deal damage themselves. I think it has in its niche, so it's probably middle B tier, somewhere like here. Let's go ahead. Original Transmorpher. Increase max HP by 8% when attacks the equiper at impact. Is increased by 10% for 12 seconds and the substat is HP. For now there's no use to this. So it goes into terrible. Maybe in the future will be useful for some characters. Precious Fossilized Core. Or maybe I don't know the actual use of this and there is one. I can't really find it. When the target is lower than 15%, the equiper inflicts 10% more damage. When it's no lower than 75%, the bonus is further increased by 10%. And the substat is impact. This would be good if you had many instances of enemies, but on bosses it's quite weak, so it goes into high C tier. It's probably good for exploration and adventure, but for bosses I am not sure. Rainforest Gourmet. For every 10 energy you consume, the equiper gains a buff that increases attack by 2.5 for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. So up to 25 attack. The duration of each stat is calculated separately and the substat is anomaly proficiency. I find it synergetic with anomaly proficiency, but in general it's not a brilliant weapon. I think it's kind of a C tier weapon, but you really need to consume the energy, that's the problem. So yeah, it's not the best, I don't know, I would say C tier. Let's go ahead. Roaring Tide. When an EX special attack hits an enemy, one of 3 possible effects is randomly triggered for 5 seconds, but this can trigger once every 0.3 seconds. The same types cannot stack, and repeated triggers reset the duration. So you have increased attack by 8%, increase anomaly proficiency by 40, increase anomaly build up by 25. This is extremely useful. And you can refine, actually have more copies to get the strongest options, and you can apply all 3. The substat is sadly attack, but in general this gives a lot to a character that can do this. And it's generic, it's not based on an element, so this goes into the high A tier from my point of view. Somewhere here, it's very generic, very strong. Okay, 6 shooter. The equiper gains charge stack every 3 seconds, so if you don't use it. When launching an EX special attack consumer, all charges stack, and each stack increases the days inflicted by 4%. Impact 15%, it's not bad, but it's not great. B tier. Slice of time, any squad members dodge, counter, EX, special attack, assist attack, or chain attacks respectively generates some kind of mod and decibels and generates energy for the equiper, 0.7. These effects can trigger every 12 seconds. The cooldown of each time of attack is independent and passive effects do not stack. The pen ratio is the substat. It's not great from my point of view. I don't think it's great. You have fast ulti, but I don't know, it's probably here, a high C tier. Let's see this one. Spring Embrace reduces damage taken by 7.5%, and when attacking the equiper energy regeneration rate is increased by 10% for 12 seconds. So it has this kind of a retaliation when the equiper switches off field. This buff will be transferred to the new on-field character, so it's a supporting thing based on defense. Passive effects of the same name do not stack and has attack percent, so it's kind of mixed. I don't like it. I will place it into the D tier. I don't like it. Let's go ahead. Starlight Engine. Launching a dodge counter or quick assist increases the equiper attack by 12% for 12 seconds. So yeah, this is very easy, for instance, for Nekomata, and has attack percent. So it's not great though, because it's very easy to do, but it only gives you that, and yeah, it's very generic. It's probably C tier. High C tier, but nothing special. Starlight Engine Replica. This is Billy's weapon. Increases the equiper's physical damage by 36% for 8 seconds upon hitting an enemy at least 6 meters away with a basic attack or dash attack. Okay, so this is very strong for, as you can see, for Billy, 36% damage increase for basically everything, and the substat is attack percent. So for Billy, very good. It's a B tier weapon, it's very specific, it's like the coring weapon, right? So it goes around here. I think maybe a little bit lower around the coring weapon. So let's go ahead. Steam Oven. For every 10 energy accumulated, the equiper's impact is increased by 2%, stacking up to 8 times. After energy is consumed, you still have it for 8 more seconds. The duration of this stack is calculated separately, and the substat is energy regen. This one gives you a lot of impact. It's good. So basically you can go up to 8 times, which is 16%. Impact almost for free if you keep the energy up. I personally don't like it too much, but energy regen is useful. Maybe it's like around here. People like it. Pride when like it. I don't prefer it, but I guess it has its uses. I don't know. I personally don't find it incredible, because you're forced to keep the energy, so I don't know. Street Superstar. Whenever a squad member launches a chain attack, the equiper gains a charge stack, stacking up to 3 times. Upon activating their ultimate, the equipers consume all charges, and each stack increases the skill damage by 15%. So for characters that are focused on skill damage, this is a very large increase, so it can be useful and it will be useful in the future. I think it's around here, somewhere like here, in the B tier. Not A tier, but still very strong. Could be even better in the future. Let's go ahead. The Vault. Dealing easy damage using an EX, special attack, chain attack, or ultimate increases all squad members' damage against the target by 15% up to 24, and increases the equiper's energy regen by 0.5 per second for 2 seconds. It's very low, like it's very small amount of time. Passive effects of the same name do not stack, and has energy regen 50%. The bonus on all characters, I think it's broken. I don't see the cooldown. Sorry, yeah, I don't see the time of this buff. Oh, it's on the same. It's for 2 seconds, so you have a very short amount of time to deal damage. Controversial. I don't know. Low B. B would need like a separation here, I think. B plus. Very okay. And we'll move these, of course, these. And yeah, that's enough. Let's go ahead. Unfettered Game Ball. Whenever the equiper's attack triggers an attribute counter effect, all squad members' crit rate against the struck enemy increases by 12%. We are talking about crit rate, up to 20% for 12 seconds. The bonus is triggered by the same type of passive effects. Do not stack. So the equiper's attack triggers an attribute counter What is an attribute counter? Okay, I don't know, I need to investigate energy region. It's probably good, it's probably here somewhere, but I don't know what's an attribute counter is, I need to check. Weeping Gemini, whenever a squad member inflicts an attribute anomaly, this one I know, on an enemy, maybe it's like attribute anomaly here too? Well, it would be B+ for sure. Even A tier. The equiper gains a buff that increases anomaly proficiency by 30 up to 46, stacking up to 4 times, but this effect expires when the target recovers from stun or is defeated. The problem is stun basically. The duration of each stack is calculated separately. Attack percent is not bad at all, but it's hold down by the fact that you have the stun that stops you. It's probably a high B, something like that. And we are done with the 4 stars, are called Rarity A. Now let's see Rarity B, which are basically the 3 stars. When attacked, the equiper defense is increased by 20%. And it gives defense. It's useful for defense characters and goes into the C tier. Because it's a B, a Rarity B, so it has a cap on the stat. When attacks reduce the attacker damage instead of increase the equiper defense, so it's worse basically because you want defense to deal damage sometimes, so this one is worse, so it goes into the D tier. The Crescent, launching a chain attack or ultimate increases the equiper's damage by 15 for 6 seconds, so it's not hard to trigger. 15% up to 25%, you almost always have 25% damage increase for 6 seconds, because it's very easy to find multiple copies of, and the substat is attack. I think it's fine to be a 3 star. It's probably high C, around here. Yeah, it's very fine. Noviluna, launching an EX, special attack regenerates 3 energy for the equiper. This effect can trigger once every 12 seconds. That's very slow, but it gives crit rate. It's the only one that gives crit rate. That can be interesting and brings it into the C. Very low C tier. But the effect is very, very bad. So it's just for the crit rate. You use it just for the crit rate in this case. Pleniluna, basic attacks, dash attack, and dodge counter damage increases by 12%. So it's for basic attackers. And you have attack percent is decent, but it's not incredible. I would say high D tier. Alpha, accumulate anomaly build-up, increase the equiper's army mastery by 25 up to 40 for 10 seconds. This can trigger every 20 seconds, and its attack percent. This is synergetic enough to be C tier. Bravo, accumulate anomaly build, increase the anomaly proficiency instead of anomaly mastery by 40 for 10 seconds. This is probably stronger, so we do an exchange here, and this goes here. Actually, they are both fine. This outclasses this one, so probably this one drops down because this outclasses, and this drops down here, something around here. Then the purple one, Charlie. Whenever a squad member inflicts an attribute anomaly on the enemy, the equiper regenerates energy and has pen ratio. This is pretty bad from my point of view. Mark 1, launching an EX, special attack increases all squad members' impact by 8% for 10 seconds. This effect can trigger once every 20 seconds, so you have 10-second cooldown. Passive effects on the same name do not stack, and its attack percent. I don't like it, personally. Let's go ahead. Mark 2, launching an EX increases anomaly mastery and anomaly proficiency for 10 seconds. This effect is basically the same thing and has energy regen. Energy regen is a little bit better, I think, for a support, so it goes here. Anomaly is also more interesting to me than that day's buff. Launching a chain attack or ultimate increases all squad members' attack by 8% for 10 seconds. This effect can trigger once every 20 seconds, so this is on squad members' attacks. I don't like it. Its HP percent goes into the D tier, it's very bad. Vortex arrow, the equiper's attack inflict 8% more damage on target on their main target, and its impact percent. Impact percent is interesting. It's probably low C tier. And we have Hatchet. Upon entering combat or switching in, the equiper impact increases and its energy regen. This is not the best at all. And we have Revolver. EX special attack inflict 10% more days. This can be very interesting, honestly, if you use it with Piper specifically, because you have more days, plus you have more attack that is useful for her anomaly. So in a very fun way, it's strong for Piper. So it's C tier, not higher than that. And this is our tier list. I try to be as fast as possible. I will mark all the V engine, W engines you see here in the timestamps. If you have any question about any of the W engines, let me know. If you have doubts on the banner, we'll be covering the weapon banner too soon. Also, keep in mind that you can find all the information you want on this tier list onto the Discord server. Please join anytime you want to ask me anything directly. I hope you enjoyed. I will be updating this with every new patch at the end of the patch. Have a nice day. This is Nero Atlas, signing out.